60 Minutes on Shmuel Studios. My name is Ankur Dalsania.
And I'm Madison Gertis.
Today we have a special coverage, an interview with Mr. President Bashar al-Assad. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello, Mr. President.
Hello, Mr. President. We appreciate your invitation to Damascus to speak with you, although I am curious as to why you would want an American interview given the current tensions between the United States and Syria.
I am only here to emphasize and explain the truth. There are many falsehoods circling the media, and I think it is crucial for all American administrations to know the truth.
It is interesting that you are so passionate about starting the truth when you have previously censored websites such as Facebook and YouTube and denied the existence of political prisoners in your country, contrasting many reports that said otherwise. What do you have to say about that?
I stand firm behind my statement that the truth is tremendously important, and I have the support of my Syrian people.
Speaking of the truth, is it true that you gained power after your father died?
Yes.
Is it also true that your father originally intended the position for your older brother?
Yes.
However, when you were elected president, you were unopposed, and the parliament had to rewrite the predetermined age laws so that you would be eligible. Does this really indicate that the Syrian people wanted you in power?
The Syrian people voted me into office. I have their support.
But do you still have their support?
Yes, the people of Syria still support me, and I believe I should be leading their country.
Then how do you explain the protests, the riots, the dissent?
The dissenters are a small population. I still have the majority support of my country. I've been making changes to help my people.
Recently, you and your party have made reforms to Syria's constitution. The constitution includes a referendum that not only allows you to complete your term in office, which ends in 2014, but also grants you 2 more 7-year terms in office, essentially ending your presidency in 2028. Do you honestly think this is fair?
Of course this is fair. I was elected by the majority of the Syrian people to become president. I am entitled to carry out the duration of my term. And with the new constitution, I will be needed to help facilitate its implementation. So about 14 years will be needed.
But don't you think that Syrian people may want a new president before 2028?
The majority voted me in as president, so I shall remain as president.
What about the thousands of protesters?
They are a minority of this conflict. The entire conflict was caused by enemies outside of Syria and a small minority of the Syrian population. Overall, the people of Syria support me.
Many countries have shown skepticism and doubt towards the new Syrian constitution. They doubt that anything will change, and the most of these new laws are just talk. What do you say to this?
What is there to doubt? In the new constitution, we have adjusted the prerequisites to become president. We are endorsing scientific research, arts, literature, and are outlawing discrimination based on sex, race, and religion. It was passed with 89% approval. I don't know what else these countries could want.
Well, how do you plan to enforce this new constitution?
My main concern is to end this conflict and return peace to Syria.
You said in a previous interview that you are on positive terms with most of your neighbors in the Arab world. But now, not only Turkey is openly against your government, but some of the people of Turkey fear that there might be an extension on the armed conflict into Turkey. Do you believe that Turkey and Syria will actually come to arms against each other?
No. Turkey and Syria will not fight because neither the people of Syria nor the people of Turkey want to fight. In order to fight or enter an armed conflict, a country's government must have the approval of its people. The Turkish people do not dislike Syrians. It is the Turkish government that says it does not approve of Syria, not the Turkish people. And without the support of its people, Turkey cannot conflict with Syria. The Syrian people, too, do not want to engage in a conflict with Turkey and have nothing to gain. There would be no point.
You say there will be no armed conflict between Turkey and Syria, yet there are bombings going along the borders between your nations. What is going on?
There have been no official orders to bomb Turkey from the Syrian government. Like what was said before, there is no point. We have no motivation to antagonize Turkey.
So where are these bombs originating from?
There's no way for the government to have complete control over the military, but those who do not follow orders and shell too close to the borders are investigated.
So you are admitting that there may be some government agents who have shelled on the other side of the border?
There might be, but they would be going against the explicit orders and would be investigated. We disapprove of the smuggling that goes on from Turkey, but neither side's people want to go as far as an armed conflict.
You believe there's smuggling of terrorist supplies from Turkey?
Yes. Today Syria fights a different kind of war, a war in which terrorists use proxies. They may be hidden within Syria or international forces, but either way this conflict will continue as long as there is a continuation of terrorist aid and weapons by other countries and organizations. There are terrorist attacks in Damascus almost every day.
But there are other countries besides Turkey that do not approve your regime. How do you believe other neighboring countries view Syria?
Many of our neighbors have a positive disposition towards Syria, but many do not actively support us. This is because although their people support Syria, the politics of now, such heavy Western influence, prevent them from openly supporting Syria.
Many of the surrounding countries that are in fact unfriendly with Syria and others that you say are supportive are letting 2,000 to 3,000 Syrian refugees into their borders daily. There are more than 408,000 refugees registered with the UN. What do you say to this? Why are so many Syrians fleeing your country?
There is a division within Syria, but those that are fleeing are from both sides. Not only the rebels are fleeing, but many government supporters. They are fleeing the violence instigated by terrorist plots.
So they aren't fleeing because of oppressive rule?
No, we are having reforms, but the issue is now that there are terrorists who bring about war to try and destabilize Syria.
It's in fact a civil war.
No, it is a difficult war. Civil wars revolve around sectarian or political problems, not tension caused by extremists and terrorists. This is not a civil war. Tension, when there are terrorists threatening stability every day, should be expected, but that does not turn this into a civil war.
Mr. President, much of the world regards you as a tyrant and a dictator. President Barack Obama, who once said positive things about you, now says that you have lost your legitimacy to lead and that you should step down. What do you want to say to the world?
You see, I only care about my Syrian people and their needs. I don't care if people outside of Syria question my legitimacy to rule because they do not know the truth. The Syrian people wanted me in this position, and that is what gives me my legitimacy. Further, foreign opinion on this issue does not matter because this is a Syrian issue.
As this issue progresses, Syria is losing more and more support from its allies in the Middle East. Turkey and Jordan say that it is time for you to step down, and the Arab League says that they have suspended you. Your allies have abandoned you and placed economic sanctions against you. Does this worry you?
Not at all, because we still have good relations with the countries and we still trade. Further, these sanctions are not implemented because if they are, then the countries implementing the sanctions will suffer, since Syria provides many necessities to them.
Many leaders in the Middle East have been overthrown during the past year. President Mubarak in Egypt and Muammar Gaddafi in Libya. Are you worried that you might be next?
I don't worry about these things because I have the support of my people. As president, I am only afraid of losing this support, and as all presidents are.
But do you still feel now that you still have the support of your people?
Of course I do. You cannot be in this position if you don't have the support of the people.
How can you say you have the support of your people when many people are protesting your regime and are being killed and tortured?
No, you are mixing the protesters and the terrorists. In many places, terrorists are killing. Also, every leader is going to have people who oppose him. It is not possible to have 100% support. The protesters are a minority, and the majority of the people still support me.
I've seen awful pictures of what happened. Why was there such a brutal crackdown?
You cannot believe every photo you see with your eyes. It could be editing, and many of the photos are of supporters of the government who have been killed by the protesters.
Do you think that your forces cracked down a little too hard?
They are not my forces. They belong to the military, and they follow the constitutional law that says to protect the people and stand against any chaos.
But Mr. President, you still have to give the order.
No, they are following simple constitutional protocol.
Just last month, there were reports that the Syrian government used chemical weapons containing toxic gas against the protesters, killing 6 people and blinding others. What do you have to say about that?
Again, the terrorists have obtained chemical weapons from other places and are using them to kill innocent Syrian people. You cannot believe everything you hear from the American media, because it is not always true. And if the government was using the chemical weapons, it is out of my control because they are following the Constitution.
It looks like we've just about run out of time. Are there any last few words you'd like to say?
I have nothing left to say.
Thank you for your time, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy your flight.
Thank you.